Long before the tragedy at Astroworld took place in November 2021, Travis Scott had shown a pattern of questionable behavior. Whether you know him for his music career or simply because he's in a relationship with Kylie Jenner, there is almost no doubt you have heard of Travis Scott. Beginning his rise to fame in 2013, Travis Scott really broke out when his first studio album hit the shelves in 2015. And from there, he's basically seen nothing but success. So the question is, how could Travis Scott be one of the most prolific hip-hop artists while also being surrounded by questionable controversies? Well, as you know, the people that we see on our screens and listen to on a daily basis aren't always who we think they are. It turns out, even those that we considered to be close to the hip-hop artist have stories about horrible things that he did to them, or in their presence in the past, including leaving someone that he used to work with for dead on the floor of their recording studio. The first time the story broke out was when the person involved, Scott's former manager, Shane Morris, shared it on his Tumblr account back in 2013. It has since resurfaced on TikTok and Reddit quite a few times. Morris met Travis back in 2009 and over time became his manager. That was until Travis found out about Shane's illness. According to Shane, the incident occurred late one night when Travis and his crew were in LA, having a party in a room that he referred to as the Dungeon. The Dungeon was a large basement in LA that was also equipped with a recording studio. Well, according to Morris, while they were all enjoying themselves at the party, he began to have an episode. You see, Shane Morris is an epileptic, and under the wrong circumstances, he would begin having violent seizures. And at the party, surrounded by all of the loud music and lights, he sadly started to seize. But instead of stopping the party and helping his friend and manager, Travis and a few others simply left the room. Shane was left fighting for his life as he was having a seizure, but thankfully he ended up at the hospital later that night and ended up being okay. But to make matters even more disgusting, Scott didn't show him any sympathy at all. According to Morris, he called the hip-hop artist the following day, and Travis told him that he didn't want him as his manager anymore. He claimed that he couldn't have anyone that would be having seizures around him, and he didn't want to bring other artists, especially naming T.I., around something like that. So not only did he leave Shane on the floor to die, but he also fired him because of his disability. It doesn't stop there though. Travis has also shown a pattern of disrespecting his fans and not caring for their safety at all throughout his career. While performing at a concert in Switzerland in 2015, Scott was doing what most artists do, hyping up the crowd. And during one of these moments, he decided to go stand right in front of the crowd, and as the people in the front row were reaching up towards the artist, one of his fans allegedly tried to snatch his shoe. Once Travis Scott realized what was going on, he became enraged and began calling the person out for trying to steal from him. Now, if he had just stopped there, I don't think anyone would have faulted him, but he didn't. Scott took it a step further and began yelling to the rest of the audience to beat up the man who tried to steal from him. In a clip that has surfaced on the internet, you can hear Travis repeatedly yelling to the crowd to F him up. Sadly, the people around the man listened to the artist and all began hitting the so-called thief. That same year, Travis Scott was one of the performers at Lollapalooza, where he essentially incited a riot that caused the artist to be arrested. According to the reports made by Rolling Stone, the rapper's set only lasted around 5 minutes before it was shut down by festival security and police officers. Videos of the event showed Travis telling his fans to climb past the barricade and get closer to the stage, something that was against security protocol. During the video, you can also hear Scott saying, "Middle fingers up to the security right now." The rapper was quickly taken into custody and ended up being charged with disorderly conduct. That wasn't his only arrest to occur after an outrageous performance though. About 2 years later, in 2017, he was headlining a show at the Walmart, Arkansas Music Pavilion. The artist once again incited a riot which led to several people, including a security guard and a police officer, getting injured. According to the reports, Scott demanded that his fans rush the stage, which was against protocol at the venue. Once his show ended, Travis was arrested and booked afterward, being charged with endangering a minor, inciting a riot, and disorderly conduct. Following that show, the hip-hop artist got into another incident that ended up causing one of his fans to be paralyzed for the rest of their life. Kyle Green attended a concert for the rapper in Manhattan on April 30th, 2017, at which Scott encouraged the fans that were standing on the higher-up balconies to jump down into the crowd. Multiple videos popped up around the internet that showed a fan willingly dangling and dropping into the crowd. However, Green was not so lucky. According to Kyle, he was standing on the third-floor balcony as Travis was telling his fans not to be scared and that the crowd would catch them. He didn't get to make the decision for himself though, and Kyle ended up being pushed off the balcony by the crowd behind him. Kyle fell to the floor and then was dragged away from the crowd by members of the security staff. Kyle Green was left paralyzed after the incident and proceeded to sue Scott for damages. Perhaps the biggest travesty surrounding the artist, though, would have to be what occurred at his 2021 Astroworld Music Festival. During the event, which was grossly overcrowded, hundreds of people were injured and 10 people ended up losing their lives. This included a teenager that was only 14 years old. According to investigations, countless safety regulations were broken and a full criminal investigation was launched into the matter. Fans of the artist who attended the gruesome event recounted how dangerous the crowd seemed from the beginning, with some even claiming they left before the show started because it had already been getting too out of hand. Surprisingly enough, despite all of these tragedies that have occurred at his concerts, the hip-hop artist still continues to go on successful tours. In fact, Travis Scott is currently in the midst of a multi-country tour. Fans of his must really like his music if they are willing to potentially put their lives at risk. That's all for today. And remember, if you're interested in more videos like this one, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in our next video.